Jessica, they say that there's like a song of the summer. You know what I mean? Every year people release songs. This is going to be the song of the summer, and all these things.
I've heard of summer reading. I didn't know there was a summer song.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Like the song that you sing.
Yeah, it just captures the vibe of the summer and just carries everybody along.
At the beach.
Just at the beach and the restaurants, at the clubs, everywhere. It's just the song of the summer as you're like driving down the highway, as you're like playing softball. As you're
what's an example?
This is the thing, I can't think of one, but basically any hit song is what it comes down to. That's just...
I feel happy.
Yes, exactly. Song of the summer, exactly. Do you think that there's a mystery of the summer?
Oh.
Like everybody's talking about this one mystery.
Well, okay, so that's interesting because I think mysteries are better served up in winter.
You think? Because it's darker and colder and you just want to like curl up with a cup of hot chocolate?
Like you just got through all the Christmas movies and you're coming down from all of that and all the sugar high and it's really still, cold and gross outside. And so you want something cozy and maybe or dark.
I was gonna say
to match your
or soul dark and icky and cruddy. Yes,
get
me in there with the murders and the betrayals.
Yeah, summer is when you read a trashy romance or a trashy thriller. I'm not sure that you.
I mean, a trashy cozy mystery could be a trashy thriller. Somebody's died and some small town baker is trying to get it with the handsome detective from out of town who just came into town and is now sprucing up the only hotel in town.
Okay. I'm just thinking about when TV releases new shows.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, you know what? That is a very good point because you're right. Traditionally, TV was just all reruns during the summertime. So there wasn't anything new. You're 100% correct on that. And even worse about all of that is that the summer blockbuster season does not pair well with a nice dark mystery. Everybody wants thrills and chills and Jaws and big
I'm not
superheroes
watching
or
Haunting
like
in
aliens.
Venice in July.
Yes, that I think is a much better way of looking at it. It's like, yes, because the TV is going, and you're right. Everybody wants a light beach read that they don't have to pay attention to. Now they're like, I should have gotten that
horror
clue.
Movie or a big action.
Horror movies I think start closer to fall. I think horror movies come out with pumpkin spice.
Okay.
It's like pumpkin spice and scary season start at the same time. Like pumpkin spice, horror movies, and Jack Skellington all come out at about the same time, which is by my watch in about 2 weeks now at this point. So we are late to the party to talk about summer things. But you are just in time to hear us talk about Cluedunnit. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Jessica.
And this is Cluedunnit.
We watch fake TV crimes and then we make wild guesses about who done it.
And we're usually wrong.
Yeah.
Although I think
occasionally we are correct.
I
think you actually won the last episode, didn't you?
Was it the last episode that
or the one
people
before that?
Yeah, exactly. I think it might be the last episode.
I need to keep track of this. This is
You keep asking for somewhere out there in our infinite fan base for someone to take this on, and I think that's unfair of you, Jessica. I think that's unfair of you to ask our fans to do work. Just know, fans, that I'm standing up for you when it comes time to choose your favorite host between me and Jessica. She's the one who wants to give you more work. I'm the one who wants to extend your summer vacation. Keep that in mind.
Yeah. Okay.
Fine. That's right.
Well, okay. And talking about not doing work, though, maybe we're going to do it anyway. We're going today to talk about The Art Detective.
Okay.
And this is known as a kind of nerdy show because you learn about art or
you're giving me
museum
homework.
work.
You're trying to trick me into taking that art history course that you've long wanted us to do. Am I going to have to take notes about the difference between a Caravaggio and finally learn the difference between Manet and Monet?
No. It's Viking gold and wine, vintage wine.
Vintage wine?
That's in an episode.
He's an art forger? What is he doing talking about vintage wines?
This episode that we are watching.
Okay. Which one are we watching?
We are watching season 1. This show just came out this year. It premiered in June. So maybe you're right. It is a summer show.
You didn't tell me this just came out in June this year.
You're right.
This definitely has a whole kind of British mystery PBS kind of thing for it, where apart from the look, this feels like this could have been done anytime in the past 3 decades. It just feels like this is and I don't mean this in a bad way, but this is very much a down the middle of the road. Here's your British mystery procedural set in a
Yeah.
weird setting kind of thing.
I will say about this show, the New York Times covered it. They did a little blurb review of it. And the way they were talking about it, they were like, it's a nerdy show with nerdy things in it. And so it elevates it a little bit more than like Murder, She Wrote. And I was like, that is a really I mean, I love Murder, She Wrote, but that is a lazy dig. That is a lazy dig, and it's old. Like, that's years ago. Like, there's so many mystery shows that you could talk about. It's like the New York Times has not watched any mystery shows on TV, and the art detective PR people came to the TV department, and they were like, oh, hey, by the way, there's this show, and you can learn about Viking gold on it, and isn't that, like, cool? And they were like, oh, wow, hey, there's... mystery's really, cutting edge now.
New York Times readers, they should have
people.
compared it to White Lotus. New York, that's all the New
Yes.
Succession or White Lotus, that's all that the New York Times audience watches. So they had to be like, oh, what will they remember? We can't talk about Magnum PI. That's much too trashy for the New York Times audience.
Yeah.
And we can't talk about Only Murders in the Building because that's a half-hour comedy, and we can't give people the wrong thing. I will say this. I mean, don't get me wrong. Murder, She Wrote is iconic. And so if they just want an iconic show, go for it. But...
yeah.
A nerdy version of Murder, She Wrote.
And as we only have season 1, we are watching season 1, and we are watching episode 3. It is called Warped.
That's good, because we've seen the first 2.
Yeah, it's called Warped. And the episode logline is: a music producer is battered to death in his studio and his rare rock memorabilia is stolen. But when the victim's collection is later found dumped in the river, Mick and Shazia question the killer's motive, or Shazia. I'm gonna have to figure out her name again. I'm so sorry. Do you any bets that this is somebody who's on the Warped tour? Is that why it's called Warped?
I'm gonna guess no.
I mean, that would be really exciting because our neighbor was performing at the Warped tour.
Yeah, but
there's weekend.
There's no memory. It's all digital. Like the Warped tour, it's all digital. To be like,
it is. I thought it was all like emo bands. And
it
stuff.
is emo bands and stuff. Yes, but they do everything's done digitally now and in Pro Tools, and everybody just like goes places and sets up their microphones and then records to hard drive. And there's just hard drives and T-shirts. That's all there is. There's no like big like reel-to-reel tapes or like.
Oh.
Emmys that you could use to batter somebody or like tie somebody down with a reel-to-reel tape and then throw a compressor on them. Oh my gosh, I want to get like a reverb plate. Let's get a reverb plate and have somebody try to repair the reverb plate and then have somebody cut the chains and have that fall on somebody. There are so many great ways with old school audio equipment to kill somebody.
Oh my gosh.
You just can't do that anymore. That's what's truly missing. I mean, Thriller, there's a Scream in Thriller. No, it's not Thriller. It's the Scream in Roller Coaster of Love. I forget who did that, but there was a rumor for many years that the Scream in Roller Coaster for Love was from somebody they killed in the studio.
No.
So that was, okay, first of all, that was actually a rumor, but of course it was fake. But yes, there was that whole kind of like, that's a real scream from somebody being killed.
Shut up. Do they talk about that in sound school? In sound design school?
No, they don't.
Oh, how do you know that?
Because,
from
it's the internet. The internet's out there, and all those ways to kill people, that's just ways that I've come up with.
This is going to be your episode.
I hope so. This is great. I love it.
Equipment.
I'm so grateful I won't be looking at Monet versus Manet or anything else.
No,
Just
you're going to be
rock
looking
and roll.
at rare rock memorabilia that we're then going to see dumped in an Avon somewhere.
Well, I'm still here trying to think about how the Led Zeppelin documentary fits into all of this.
Oh,
so
that was good times. That was fun to watch.
And bad times.
Yes.
I've had my share.
Yeah.
My woman left home with a brown-eyed man, but I still don't seem to care.
Oh, gosh, that's how it fits, Jacob.
There we go.
Anyway,
please continue.
Oh, I'll tell you about some of the folks in it.
Please.
Right?
Yes, please.
Okay, so it stars Stephen Moyer, who is probably best known for being on True Blood.
Oh, okay.
He was the love interest of Anna Paquin's character. I only watched a very little bit. We watched a
handful of those episodes. We were very happy. That show came on right when we had just moved to Vegas, and we had gotten HBO, we had gotten a TiVo, and we were going to watch all the things.
Yeah, and I meant to watch it, but I didn't. I think, but it
was sexy supernatural times on HBO. Let's do it.
Yeah, and I was interested to learn that he actually started an affair with Anna Paquin.
Oh, he did?
While they were filming the pilot.
Okay.
And then he divorced his wife and got married to Anna Paquin, and they are married and live in Los Angeles.
Good job, them. Sounds like that vampire hedonistic energy was there. So the chemistry was real.
Worked.
The chemistry was real. Yeah. The whole HBO crew was like, should we be here? I don't know that we should be. I'm feeling very uncomfortable with this.
From the jump.
Yeah.
And we were looking
Doesn't she turn out to be like a fairy?
Oh, I don't know. He is apparently a 173-year-old vampire.
And she must have been like 23 when they were filming that show. So 123-year-old and a 23-year-old. That's too much of an age gap.
173.
173?
Yeah, he was in his, like,
he was 150 years older than her. What are you doing?
The actor was only 15 or 17. I don't know. He was in his late 30s.
All right, who else we got?
Opposite him, she's not really a sidekick. She's the police. DC Shazia Malik, played by Nina Singh, and she has more than a handful of credits, but this is really her breakout role. Mm-hmm. And so we're very excited to see her go on and do many things.
It's the summer of Nina.
Yes. She does a guest star on Beyond Paradise, which is the spinoff of Death in Paradise.
Okay.
So she is in that, and I'm sure there will be many more shows in her future.
Great.
The fun thing about this show, or another fun thing about this show, is that there are 3 creators. And when I'm looking at this stuff on IMDb, I'm just like, oh, look at these guys. Oh, they seem to do, that's the same stuff in his credit list and same credit. Oh, what's happening here? And then I realized after finally digging in other places on the internet, that they are part of a production company. They created a production company actually together. And so they do some things on their own. So it's Dan Gaster, Will Ing, which he addresses in another article that his parents named him that. He never got a satisfactory reason as to why.
William Ing, just Will
Ing. Okay. Yeah. And I thought it was a little weird, but I was thinking of isn't there a playwright? William, I got distracted, so I did not look up the Inge. But yeah, right, close. Yeah. Okay, so then the other writer and creator is Paul Powell. And they all do a lot of panel shows.
Pauling.
Yeah, and he does. And everything I could tell about him, he was interviewed by this organization in England that arranges for royalties for writers and helps track it down and get the payments for them. Like every other line, he had a joke. He had something to say.
Who was the third person in this? We've got Will, we've got Paul.
Dan Gaster.
Dan Gaster, thank you.
Yeah. So Dan Gaster actually has been a story consultant on the Madame Blanc mysteries.
Oh, lovely.
And he has also worked for close to 20 years on the Graham Norton show, doing writing and punch-up.
Writing and punch-up, sure.
And then for over 20 years, he's also worked on the panel quiz show, Have I Got News for You? Which I don't think I've caught that one, but it seems familiar because a bunch of all the comedians have gone on. We should say the director of this episode is Jenny Padden, and she's actually directed 3 of the Art Detectives episodes. And I just want to say she was clearly trained in the continuing drama space where, a lot of directors get their training. Yeah, she did 28 episodes of Doctors, 2 episodes of Casualty. Okay. And then she really just knocked it out of the park because she got 3 episodes of The Diplomat, like 3 or 4 episodes of Sanditon, Silent Witness, Death in Paradise. So people always wanted her back. So she's great. Yeah. And then she has a huge film resume of doing first and second AD jobs and also film loader jobs. And she's had an incredible stuff. She's worked on Lara Croft, Troy, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Star Wars 3, Hot Fuzz, Mission Impossible, and just tons and tons of other stuff. So yay for the continuing drama training. What are we going to do when people stop watching soaps? I think we all have to put in time and watch soaps.
Because you owe it. You owe it to the industry.
We owe it to the young people that are coming up through the industry and creating these mystery shows, watch a soap opera.
Just doesn't matter which one. Just find one, put it on, watch it, make sure it stays on the air.
Get some stories.
This is the thing. Like, it has to be at least 22 episodes a season.
Yeah.
So you've just got to put
maybe like one a week.
Put in the time watching FBI or Fire Country or something.
Yes.
Just like, watch the
because
shows,
how else are we going to
train up the next generation?
How else are we going to have our mystery shows like continue? Like, we need to keep the wheel turning. You
cannot do a mystery in a YouTube short. It's just that easy.
Yeah, it is really hard.
Although now I really want to try and do like a 90-second mystery on like a YouTube short or something like that.
Oh.
Okay. Well, maybe.
Now you have a challenge.
Now I have a challenge. Here's my challenge to you. What would be if you had one piece of rock memorabilia that you could have for anything, anytime, like the ballet slippers that Stevie Nicks wears on the cover of Rumors, or the prism that they used to, like, as the model for Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
Do you remember that when we went to we were backstage for Roger Waters?
Yes.
Did we talk about this already?
I don't know, but I do remember this.
We were backstage for the Roger Waters show because it was in Vegas, and you were writing about it, interviewing the lighting designer, and I was taking pictures, and we eventually sat in front of house, but we got there really early in the day, and so there was a lot going on, and what's it called? Crafty set up a whole table, which of course we were not allowed to eat at. Yeah. But there was also, the lighting designer was like, hold on, I gotta do this for a second. Some guy showed up with some crazy, amazing laser that they were going to they were testing, and they wanted to put it into the show. Do you remember this?
I don't remember them testing it. I mean, I remember the lasers in the show because, yes, they made the iconic white triangle with the lights coming out of it with lasers. But, I don't remember the new thing they were trying.
Yeah, they were trying it out backstage, and we had to stand off to the side,
and not look directly at it.
Well, for
laser.
sure. Not look at it. Anyway, but so would that be something that I would want, or something else? How about you, Jacob? You are really more dialed in.
I think what I would like, I want a microphone that David Yao from the Jesus Lizard has like puked on. Like, give me one of those things.
What? Does he puke on stage on his microphones?
I am sure that he has done some
God,
crazy things on stage. Yeah, I think I'll just go with the whole Pink Floyd thing, right? The first artwork for the album cover for that, or some in the 60s when they would do those wild slideshows with the different liquids and oils and something like that. I wouldn't mind having one of those. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you've said it, I really enjoyed watching Lawrence Welk as a kid.
Oh, no.
And I remember all the eras of microphones that he had, and I would just like a selection.
Just a selection of different microphones?
Especially, I want the one that was like a long stick with a little tiny
the little like
dot. It was smaller than even a golf ball. But
it was a lav mic. They would put little lav mics, and they would just put that on a long stick. Bob Barker had the same thing. That was Bob Barker's.
I loved that microphone. And then and then we morphed into the more handheld sort of like dildo sized ones with the big fuzzies on the top. Yeah. Sorry, explicit. And now
we've just got those little Rode microphones that you just pinch between your. It's like you're smoking a joint or licking a caterpillar.
Yes,
like I'm just going to talk into
or
this
a
caterpillar.
Slug.
Right? Yeah,
gross.
Don't lick the
or
slugs,
a muff.
people.
I'm sorry, yes, explicit people.
Okay.
I work for a Shakespeare company. It just seems like a big Shakespeare joke waiting to, that's adult.
A big adult Shakespeare joke waiting to happen. All right.
Every time I see an influencer with one of those little fuzzy microphones. Ugh.
Positively Shakespearean. Okay, well now you're going.
Yeah, like just get a long stick like Lawrence Welk.
That would be. Oh my God! Can you imagine all the influencers out there, like with their long, like Bob Barker or like Lawrence Welk?
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make my own.
Do it. I think that needs to come back.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll come back with some guesses. All right, let's do this.
See you soon.
Okay, so Herd, you told me that this show premiered this June. Mm-hmm. Do you have the exact date that this episode first aired?
Well, I'm told by IMDb that it was June 16th.
June 16th. So we watched this, and we'll get into the recap on this in a second here. We were watching this episode
We
as it
just
played
watched
out.
it up until the title sequence.
Title sequence.
As per our rules.
As per the rules. We follow the rules here, people. Wild guesses within stringent condition equals comedy. Anyways, time plus tragedy, wild guesses plus stringent condition, both equal comedy. Many roads get to Mecca. In any event, this episode aired June 16th,
Yes.
but there is lots of overtones of the Beach Boys in this episode.
Is there?
There are, yes. So there's a rock band at the center of this. There's a rock band family at the center of this episode.
Yeah?
The dad's the manager, it looks like. It feels as if there were some warring brothers at the very least.
Yeah.
We have one Maddie who's dead, apparently, or out of the picture at the beginning of this episode, presumed dead. Then there's another brother who's having a nervous breakdown right now,
Yeah,
a psychotic
Nathan.
break. Nathan, who feels Maddie's hands still on his throat.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that. And then there's the daughter, Grace. And then the father, who is like a little bit of a drunk, having some whiskey for breakfast.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. It might not be breakfast. It might be the middle of the day, but it
Yeah.
feels like morning. All of this, which is to say that the Beach Boys were a band of brothers managed by their father, who has been known, who they have said was physically and verbally abusive. And Brian Wilson famously had a psychotic break and was delusional,
Oh, yeah.
literally
And this brother
delusional.
is saying he was
And
about
Nathaniel
to have
is the manager is trying to get Nathaniel off psychotic and his antipsychotics, but the sister Grace is like this. He needs to stay on them. So in any event, my point is that there are so many overtones. It's kind of like the Beach Boys meets Oasis and the Gallagher brothers on this, because there is clearly some tension between this.
And this is like the return of Oasis.
Oasis
this year,
is touring this year,
and Brian Wilson died.
Brian Wilson died June 11th.
Oh,
so of course
my gosh.
there's no way that they could have known anything
No.
about this at all when they were planning and shooting and doing everything with this episode. But just the coincidence that Brian Wilson died on June 11th and this episode aired on June 16th is one of those like do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
I didn't realize he was a brother.
Yeah.
There's another Wilson in
There
the
are
band?
three. There were
Oh,
three in the band.
they were
at first.
three?
There were
I thought
three
they were
Wilson boys.
friends.
No, they
Oh,
were.
okay.
There were some friends involved, but the band was originally the
Okay.
Wilson boys.
All right.
So
All right. Well, we haven't gotten to the situation.
right. Yes.
which
Let's talk
is
about the
the
situation.
murder.
The murder. So this is what happens. You open on this lovely estate. It's the whole very English cliche of like an old country home turned into a recording studio, old
Yes.
stone house. And then they've
But with
turned the
neon
stables.
inside.
Neon inside, and they've turned the stables into the recording studio. It looks
Yes.
like they're doing lots of Steadicam shots as they kind of like walk through the thing, and you're
It
hearing
was
this.
really beautiful.
It's very beautiful.
That is a nice studio.
It's a very lovely studio, but it's also very like,
Lots of cables on the wall.
I mean, they hit every note for like cliche. Like there's Persian carpets everywhere. There's cables on the wall. Gold records everywhere. Like there are gold records on the wall everywhere, including the kitchen. There's just a random gold record in the kitchen. So
And that could just be set deck walking from shot to shot and
Sure.
moving the
So-
gold record. But anyway, right, we are supposed to realize that this family, this band called, what is it? Deadly Shaman?
Dead Shaman.
Dead Shaman.
Shaman, yes.
Were very successful.
They were very successful. And there is this singer who was singing the song. There is this woman who is blonde, dressed all in black, very short hair.
Who they call or Grace calls the
Later,
manager.
Grace calls her the manager,
But she is clearly in the band in the picture.
Right.
She's standing there with her cool hair and her cool outfit.
But it might not be the band. It might just be like a group shot kind. Anyways,
Yeah,
in
and-
any event, that's the picture. We move on. He's singing, and the dad. We don't know he's the dad. He just this guy, long gray hair, kind of stops the music and punches in and says, "Kid, you're singing it wrong. Only not in such gentle terms." He basically reprimands the kid and yells at the kid, and then the engineer pops in trying to soften everything and be like, "This is all about joy. You're breaking free of the shackles." So clearly there's some kind of trauma in the past that we're trying to put behind them. And Nathan is just like, "I can't do it. I can't do this." Takes off the headphones, walks out of the recording studio. But it's a distressing moment for everybody involved.
Yeah.
The engineer and the manager, who we'll call the dad, the manager, not the manager, the dad and the engineer have a little moment where they're just like, what the hell? This can't be going on. This isn't very good.
Yeah, and then the dad says he promised us half the album, so he's got to finish the album.
But there's a moment that's very important that happens before that, though.
Okay.
So as this kid walks off, the dad and the engineer are talking, and they're like, "What are we going to do?" And the dad is like, "Where's that field recorder?"
Because he's like, I'm going to take off the ambient sound
and see if I can dig some stuff out of that. And the engineer is like, that's pretty desperate, excavating all this sound for a new album.
Yeah.
And the dad says, what, this is any worse than hawking your old possessions? And you see them taking like guitars and other rock memorabilia into this auction van.
You see, you see some other people.
Yes.
That are on site filling up a van with
workers,
stuff.
Auction house workers filling it up. Anyways, so the manager goes and follows Nathan, and it's like, what's wrong? And Nathan's like, I can't sing like this. I can feel his hands on my throat. And the manager is just, what's the manager's name? Storm. Storm is like, we know you're under a lot of pressure. And he's like, I'm not talking metaphorically. I can literally feel his hands on my throat. I can't do this. And he walks off. And you're just like, okay.
She also says he's dead.
Yes.
So Maddie
does he say
is
he's
dead
or he's gone? Okay, great. Cut to inside a kitchen. There is a young 20s woman in there, brown hair, reading a newspaper.
And she has a lot of vibes of Kat Dennings from Two Broke Girls.
Yes. That's exactly who it is. Anyways, Storm, the manager, comes in and they have a little back and forth. Storm says she's trying to make a smoothie for Nathan. Grace says, oh, great, we're replacing his antipsychotics with a hemp smoothie.
It's sarcasm.
Turn out great. Yeah, it's absolutely sarcasm. She doesn't believe that's going to work. The dad comes in, pours himself whiskey.
Yeah.
And Grace is like, what are you doing? Auctioning
Or he
off-
says, I want you to leave. And she says, I want you to stop selling off my property. And she has she points at like
a newspaper
page,
headline.
Yeah, that's tabloidy.
It's a cover
and
story.
saying, the cover story that with him selling off their stuff.
So
at an
she goes outside. Grace goes outside and stops the people from putting everything in
Grace
the truck.
is the Kat Dennings girl.
Right. So she like holds up a guitar that's been signed by lots of people, and she says, "You know how much this meant to Mom." Puts it back in and tells the auction workers to take everything back out of the van.
Because we went back a couple of times and we noticed in the photo that seems like it's a band photo or a family photo of some sort. It's like a group photo. And all these folks that we're talking about, including the engineer actually, are in this photo in front of a mantelpiece that has a picture of a painting, which we assume to be the mother, who is also gone.
You assume to be the mother. I have no idea who it is.
Well, okay.
That's fine.
That's the art detective.
You're allowed to guess.
I'm guessing that we're going to find out.
Fair enough. And then we cut to night. Thunder rumbles, crows caw. It's a very ominous. It was a dark and stormy night.
Yeah.
And the father,
which this last week I have been going on and on about the wild parrots in LA and how they've moved to Northridge. And I was like, see, I still prefer calling ominous crows.
Ominous crows calling over
super ominous, scary wild parrots.
The parrots sound like metal is being rent. Like it really does sound like metal is being torn and rent. It's as opposed to a crow cawing. It sounds, it's very jangly. Anyways, the father goes into the recording studio, tidies up a little bit, and then picks up this box. And I'm here to tell you, he blows on the box and so much dust puffs off of it. This is Indiana Jones level of dust on this field recorder. Like, if we're meant to believe that they were just using it for the last album, where did you keep it? Have you been emptying the vacuum cleaner onto this thing? That is how much dust there is on this.
But then he puts it down. And it is a very old...
It's like reel-to-reel.
...field recorder.
Yeah, it's reel-to-reel.
And so I guess we are... Not only are we supposed to look at it and be like, oh, that is ancient. Not only is it visually ancient, it's blown off of...
The moors. It's just coming from the moors.
The dust of the moors.
Yes.
which made me wonder, like, what did he think was going to be on this field recorder that he was going to reuse after all these years he's been sitting on?
It cannot have been
for this new modern album.
It could not have been all these years, is what I'm saying. That can only have been like in the library for like a year or two tops.
Yeah.
There is no. Anyways, so he listens to the tape and he hears the brothers. One of the brothers fighting with somebody else, and one of the brothers calls somebody else deadweight. It sounds like they're in the bathtub, to be honest. There sounds like some kind of water or something happening. Somebody singing, and then somebody comes in. He says,
somebody can't love you, or I can't believe that somebody would love you. I couldn't love you. You're not lovable, or something. And then he says it would make me puke my guts.
Yeah. And he calls the other person deadweight. At a certain point, like, calls the person deadweight, and then there's a struggle.
Yeah, and gurgling.
And it sounds like, it sounds like, to Nathan's point earlier, that he can feel Maddie's hands on his neck.
Yeah.
It feels like maybe there was some kind of struggle happening and someone was being strangled.
Yeah.
And then somebody comes in the door handle goes, the father looks up, we don't see who it is. The father looks at this person and is just like, what am I hearing? And then whoever it is picks up a mic stand, clocks the dad in the head, and then kills.
The dad looks up, and then he gets the full mic stand feet in the face. And
so father killed by...
That's lights out.
That's lights out. Blunt force trauma kills the father. Father is dead. Cut to title sequence. Now it's time for us to start guessing. I'm ready to go. I'm coming in hot with my guess on this, Herd.
Okay, do it.
This is the thing. I have two guesses.
Okay.
I'm going to give you my real guess first, and then I'm going to give you my second guess.
Okay.
My real guess is it's the engineer.
Oh.
It's the engineer who was trying to be nice to the brother earlier on, because there's only one other person who knows that the father was even going to listen to the recording on that, and it was the engineer. And the engineer that's a bit desperate, trying to warm him off of that. So the engineer knows what's on that tape. The engineer is coming in, and I bet the engineer kills the father for listening to it. I think that the engineer came in on the two brothers fighting to begin with, tried to break it up, and ended up killing the other brother, Maddie. He knew that was on the field recorder. All kinds of alarm bells went off when the father said he was going to listen to it. So I think it's the engineer in there who is doing it. That's my guess.
And that makes sense too because when the dad says the thing about the bad note, and it's when he cuts in on the song, and then he's like, you need to break off the shackles.
Yeah.
This is about joy. And Nathan says, I can't do it.
Yeah. That's my guess. Oh, and my little dessert, my palate cleanser, if you will, on this is that if it's not him, it's some hideous person at the auction house who's coming in to be like, gosh darn it, you don't get to tell me. You're wrecking my profits and you're making me look like a fool. I'm going to kill you. Although why he would kill the dad who wants to do it as opposed to Grace, I don't know. Or it's some deranged fan who really wanted that piece of memorabilia and is really upset that they can't get it, and they came in to get it anyways, even though the auction was going to be canceled, and they killed the dad to get the memorabilia.
Well, I mean, I think that the show wants us to believe that Grace might have done it because she is so mad at her dad.
Oh, yeah, Grace.
But patricide is so...
Look at
violent.
You with the nickel word there, patricide.
It's just so much. That would be so much drama if it was that. And so I can imagine that, when he's dead, she'll be like sad that he's gone, but she will also be realizing like the situation that they're in, the financial situation, and like be regretful of everything. She never had a peaceful situation with her dad. She didn't have closure with him. So I don't think that she's actually done it. I was kind of thinking that, and I think I just have to take somebody else, just, for the sake of the game.
Sure.
Here. But I really think that I think you're going to win this week. I'm going to say Storm did it.
Storm, the manager.
Yeah.
She's another one that they really
want.
Not
a manager. I think she was in the band.
Yeah.
But now maybe they're trying to kind of cut her out of it or something. And so she's trying to be a manager to Maddie. And she's in the family photo, she is standing behind Nathan, not Maddie, but she's kind of next to, like in the same plane as Maddie, or who we assume to be Maddie, playing the guitar. And I just wonder if there was some sort of maybe like a love triangle there with the brothers. And yeah, like she was the one who walked in on the drowning and the strangling. And maybe she took the final, like, made sure that, like, maybe even I wonder if Nathaniel actually blacked out in whatever this
Whatever fight that
water
was caught on, yeah.
situation was. And so
It's going to be so awesome. We're going to learn that this has nothing to do with water and it was like in the middle of the desert or something. And somehow we heard water.
Yeah, there are cactus
like there are cactus barbs in his
in the kitchen. And so like little porcelain sculptures of like kind of silly, tacky. They're cute. Yeah, but it's definitely water gurgling. And after he said something about puke, I was like, oh my gosh, are we listening to somebody puke? That's disgusting.
That's amazing. If that is, love it.
It was gross. So I wonder, to like sort of tag on with what you're saying, if Nathaniel had passed out, Maddie realized what he did or what he was doing, and Storm just got so angry and pissed that she took him out. And so when she's like telling Nathaniel Maddie's dead, it's that this is a thing where she's like, I took care of it. And just to tag on with what you're saying again, the engineer comes to her and says, he's going to listen to that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't you say it's like a thing you should maybe
take care
of
that? Of course. Yeah.
And so she's the one who goes in and
takes care of things because she's the manager.
Yeah, because she's the manager.
That's a great point that didn't even occur to me, that like the engineer would be. Yeah. Okay,
and so I have some pre-cheating.
Oh, come on.
So there are no other strangers in this cast list. We have met everybody, but I think there will be some scenes with Maddie, the dead brother.
That makes sense. Yeah, okay.
So Grace and her dad have the same last name.
Mm-hmm.
And the brothers, Maddie and Nathan, have the same last name.
Right.
But they don't have the same last name as Grace and her dad. So,
interesting.
Are they related to the dad? Or were they like the first children of the mother, maybe? Dad was the second marriage? The mom's got to figure into this somehow.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Wow. Okay, yeah.
And what if the mom...
is actually speaking from beyond the grave?
What if this recording was of the dad? Maybe the dad did the killing.
Killed the mom.
Of the brother or the...
What if that's a recording of the dad... No, because it was a man's voice on the recording.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, the man was calling somebody dead weight. Yeah.
Oh.
I guess there's nothing left to do, Jess, but watch this and find out.
Yeah. But the mom's going to figure somehow, and these last names are different.
Yeah.
And I just wonder if that's usually significant when the writer takes the time to actually name the characters.
Yeah. Yes. And for that matter, to be so specific with even like a surname.
Yeah.
And we should find out how the English would pronounce surname. Like if they're like Surnam or something like that, you know what I mean? Or Surname, or I don't know.
What?
I'm just thinking like, if I say surname and I'm from the Midwest, I can almost guarantee that the English are going to pronounce something differently because that's just how it works.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, okay. I don't think they do. I mean, maybe they don't.
So you're saying I'm part English?
They don't sit on the R, maybe, like you do.
Oh, fair enough. Okay,
or
sure.
I do, because apparently I sound like I'm from Ohio too. But yes.
All right. Well, let's find out how they pronounce it and who did it.
Okay.
Okay. Heard, we have two big things I need to talk about right now.
Okay.
One, which you should all know, first of all, never put recording equipment or your phone or electronics or anything like that into dry rice. It doesn't work, people. It doesn't work. You think it works because you have let time pass and water has evaporated, but the rice has nothing to do with it. And in fact, rice can honestly get into all the bits and ports and everything else in your phone or wherever else and gum things up and make things worse, let alone the dust that is on the rice. putting something in rice to dry it so that you can power it back up again is not a good solution. Don't do it. It's a myth.
But the internet keeps saying to do it.
The internet is wrong. The internet says a lot of things, which we really don't need to get into.
But wouldn't this guy have known that? He's an art detective. He saves them a boatload of money when she books them at a very fancy hotel, or I don't know.
It's a very fancy hotel.
It's a classic building. He's like, how much did you pay for this? How did this fit into the police budget? And she's like, budget? Such a
Bless
kid.
her heart.
It was so beautiful when her like doe eyes of just like, what?
There's a budget? I can't just
Book
spend
something?
money however I want to, wherever?
For a place that I thought you would like?
He did like it.
He did.
And her heart was in there. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So sweet.
She also wins us over when she eats hobnobs with tea later on in the episode.
Yes, it was so great. People have commented on the internet about how they have kind of a father-daughter relationship.
Oh, 100%, yes.
And it's adorable.
It really is. It really is. But yes, don't use rice, people.
Okay.
One of the plot points in this is that they do find the field recorder.
This is when your father leads you astray.
Let this be the only way. Yes.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, they do. They find the field recording tape, but they can't listen to it because it's been in the river, so they have to dry it out. So what does he do? He asks for a bowl of dry rice and just throws the rice all over the tape. Look, getting rice in the tape and all the dust from the rice on the tape would actually be worse for the tape. Don't do it.
Okay, fine.
I'm just saying. You're a curator. Curate.
Yeah,
all right.
That's kind of an embarrassing
And
inconsistency.
that's a logic cop kind of thing.
Well, you got this one right.
That is the second big thing that we need to talk about.
Yay!
I nailed it.
I feel like because this one was a music topic, it's kind of like I just handed it to you on a platter. Like, you know so much about this. I feel like that you were just like keyed in right away.
I don't know that I know that much about this.
You
I am
even
merely
thought,
a
like,
good
I guess
fan.
it could be somebody who's like not even in the, hasn't been shown to us before the title sequence.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, well, no, because there is nobody else. But
But yes, I was right. The engineer did do it. And for a little bit of a different, he was protecting.
very different reasons. So you do not get the motive jersey on this.
Damn it.
You're ahead on GC.
I won the stage on GC. But no, but like the motive was kind of the same. Like the motive was not the
it
same.
was different.
He was protecting. So I forget, what is it? Jack?
Nathan.
No. Nathan is the singer
brother.
who's still alive, the brother who's still alive, which, by the way,
Jack is the sound engineer.
great.
Yes.
So Jack is a sound engineer. The brothers, by the way, very Oasis. Like once you told me that like the father and the daughter weren't related to the two brothers, it was very Oasis. The song they sing at the end over credits, which is presumably this band song, has a very Oasis feel to it. But also, like, he died drowned in a river, echoes of Jeff Beck. So there's lots of musical references here. In any event, the motivation.
Yeah.
So Jack was there. He was protecting Nathan, but the reason he killed Maddie was because he and Maddie were in an abusive relationship. Maddie was abusing him, and Jack finally had enough. And in a fit of justifiable rage, maybe, perhaps,
I don't know.
He kind of fought back. He was fighting back against some abuse, is basically what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And so, in any event, he killed.
And Maddie was vile. I mean, that
Oh
doesn't
yeah, Maddie
justify
doesn't
anything,
justify, but he was vile.
Yeah.
And yes, so the whole thing was they went down to the river. Jack protected Nathan. Maddie then turned his abuse on Jack. Jack drowned
Maddie. And it was all recorded on the field recorder, like you said.
But Jack then took Nathan back to the recording studio and put him in a chair because Natty
I
had
mean,
passed
this
out.
is crazy abusive because then he made everybody else think,
Believe
including Nathan,
that Nathan had done it.
that
Yes. No,
Nathan
it's not.
had done it. And so he thought he was guilty
Yes.
of his brother's
It
death.
was a horrible thing to do. Jack is not a victim in this.
Yeah. And then watched him being taken away. Did you see that? They all
Oh,
watched
yeah.
him being taken away by the police. And then not Kat Dennings, Grace, goes into the house. And then Storm goes into the house. And then he goes into the house and closes the door. And then you see him cross in the background in the window.
That whole shot is like, I 100% knew it was him in that shot.
Yeah.
I mean, I clearly guessed it beforehand, but the way they did that shot, I was like, oh yeah, it's him.
Confirmed.
And then a couple scenes later they did. So what Jacob won. But yes. Have you ever listened to a reel-to-reel? Have you ever
Yeah.
Really? When have you listened to a reel-to-reel?
I mean, all the time. That's what we had at Cal State East Bay at Hayward. In college, I had to cut reel to reel.
Shut up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You cut and splice the reel-to-reel. That is fantastic. I have never done that.
I had to cut film. I hated it, by the way. So here's some trivia from this episode.
Oh, no.
The tape recorder used in the studio and later found in the lake is a realistic reel-to-reel tape recorder sold in the U.S. for about $79.99. In this case, the model was able to run on D batteries and converted for 220V AC. It was sold in Radio Shack stores, but probably sold in the UK Tandy stores. Tandy, based in Fort Worth, Texas,
Sure.
owned Radio Shack at the time. The tape used is either Scotch tape or ply on 5-inch reels.
Great. I love that. I love all of that.
Thank
that
you,
doesn't
IMDb.
That doesn't make me feel old. That's just so great. I love that. So.
Yeah. My merch for the week.
Oh, are we
is-
jumping right to merch?
Well, I'm just saying it's a tape recorder. I think
Oh,
we should
yeah.
have, but
Just like Polaroids are
the
coming
kids,
back.
right? Exactly. Polaroids are coming back. Reel to reel should come back.
Make it analog, people.
Make it analog.
I get that. I
Yeah.
get that. Yeah.
Wow. So have you done tape with analog?
I have never cut tape. I have never cut film.
Oh.
I have recorded to reel. When I was taking my audio classes, the first thing I mixed, I was taking these classes just as Pro Tools was becoming a thing that could come into
yeah.
homes, but you still needed to go someplace to have a whole mixing studio in front of you. So it was my first time, and I didn't even do this on my own. We had a whole team together we were mixing this jazz combo. I specifically went to a pro audio store that doesn't exist in Oakland anymore and bought a 3/4-inch reel-to-reel tape so that I could record our mix to reel-to-reel. And then I put it there, and then I realized, what good is this, Jacob? You don't have the equipment to actually listen to this.
Oh,
so
no.
it was just a nice souvenir. And eventually in before one of our moves, I was finally like, thank you for your service, and gave it up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Such
I
a cool
literally don't
thing.
think I ever listened to it after we did our initial mix.
Oh, no.
But that is the closest I've come to working with tape. So
Oh.
that's okay. Don't be sad. Okay. I won this episode.
You did.
So this is a time of celebration. I get to go up on the podium and it's
Do
great.
you get a little stuffed animal?
I was just trying to think of what our little stuffed animal should be.
A barn owl
something.
or an otter.
Yes.
A
a fake theater knife where the knife goes back into the hasp. Something.
We were mentioning that because in the episode, apparently Maddie, the dead brother, would always go out and record animals, and then they would
Yes.
put them into the songs,
music,
into the music, and the detective starts calling out animals when he starts listening to the music for real. Yeah, Mick. So good for you,
Yeah.
winner, chicken dinner.
So we also have to talk about our detective Mick does not own this car. His assistant Malik owns the car and drives him around in the car, and it is a Beetle. It is a new Beetle convertible. That's a pretty bitchin' car. So
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, they get a nice little bitchin' car right there. And the fact also that it's a convertible. Think about that.
Yeah.
How much storms we had just in this episode, and they're in England for that matter.
Yeah. Well,
So,
they're supposed to be in Cornwall.
Yeah.
But this is all filmed in Ireland.
Yes.
This is Northern Ireland. It's called the Cockle Row Cottages in Groomsport, Bangor, Northern Ireland, which is just north of Belfast, a little bit of a drive. It's a famous tourist spot.
It's beautiful. I know that this is not a BBC show, but in the past, the BBC has a remit to be like, we want to show something. We want to promote Britain. We want to support different areas. Every British TV show feels like that. We're trying to give you the flavor of this little town or this over here. And maybe that's everywhere now with just the whole idea of Swedish noir detectives and drones everywhere and 4K and just everything looking so great and polished and lovely. And count the hairs on Mick's head.
Yeah, there were drones in this episode.
There were. That
and
was a plot
photographers out
point.
front,
Yeah,
and-
the
that was an
paparazzi
important plot
and
point.
the drones. That's why they couldn't actually really get rid of all of the stuff because they would have been found out. So.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was funny that this was supposed to be in Cornwall. They make a big point of her being like, it's Cornwall. And also, social media has a lot of videos, like YouTube, Instagram, have Stephen Moyer and Nina, the actress, saying like, oh, we get to travel to all these places. I'm like, no, you don't. That's all over. That's all Ireland. You're saying you're in different places, but that's all Northern Ireland.
Well, they still get to travel to Northern Ireland. And that did look
Yes.
it did look like, I mean, there was a fun little hotel they got to stay in. There was one scene where they go to visit like Nathan and his manager Storm at their little like artist cottages. And it's like their caravans. They have turned these like
Yes.
mobile Swedish spas that look like really huge wine barrels
Yes.
into like anyways.
It was so
it was a
steampunk.
great looking episode. Like
Yeah.
the set deck on this was just lovely.
Yeah, they had
So-
a lot of fun. But I read up on Cornwall as a result because I was like, I don't really know. Where is Cornwall? Turns out it's south of Plymouth.
Oh, Plymouth.
Plymouth.
That's
Yes.
actually very south very, very south on the mainland of Britain then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It is fully south. It used to be, I mean, like 1300s. It was called South Wales.
Oh,
Even though North Wales is what we call Wales now.
Right.
And the Cornish people were a completely different people, and they didn't even really speak English until the 1300s.
they
And
spoke Cornish.
yeah, and the language.
Did Tony the Tiger speak Cornish?
What?
It's frosted cornflakes, so I just don't know if he speaks corn as well.
I have no idea.
Okay, fair enough.
The
I've totally derailed her, ladies and gentlemen. It's fantastic. The look of sheer confusion on her face before she realizes what I'm doing is just, it's a delight. It keeps me coming back for more.
what I was just gonna say was like you had all the interest in music and all that fun stuff, and I was like history, air, environment, like where is
Location,
Cornwall?
geography.
Location. So Cornwall, they didn't even really speak English until the 1300s and maybe 1700s actually.
Okay, I was going to say, because the 1300s, English itself didn't speak English.
No, it wasn't until like the 1700s. And there was a revolt there. It was known as the Prayer Book Revolt because they had become very Catholic, just like Ireland, which they are close to. And so when the English were like, oh no, we're Protestantism, we're
Right.
getting rid of the Catholics,
You're
you can't-
Anglicans now.
Yeah, you're Anglicans now. They were like, oh, we don't even speak English here. We do the Latin thing. And they had a big revolt, and the English killed basically like 10% of the population.
That tracks.
As a result, they started speaking English, and the Cornish language kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
And there is recently a revival of the language, and people are going back to it in the same way that the Welsh have always held on to their language. That was my like, oh my gosh, like 10 to 12% of the population were killed.
That's not
in
nothing.
That in that revolt, and after that time, as people were continuing to fight the power, I guess.
Humans, we continue to
Yes.
be the worst.
Yeah, seriously. Apparently it's really beautiful, and I think there are tourists that go there because it is south.
Right,
and
it sounds
so
right
gonna
by the sea.
Yeah, right by the sea, cooler, beautiful.
Some good, fresh, healthy air in your lungs.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So what about Christie's, Jacob?
That is a good question, Jessica, that I will put back on you. I think I feel as if I've gone first quite enough this episode. I'm gonna let you go for Christie's.
Aww.
The last episode, you didn't even give us Christie's. I gave you my Christie's, and you were like, "Oh, that's great," and then you didn't actually say a number, so I'm gonna make you go first.
I don't remember that.
Well, that's because someone does the editing here, and I'm here to
Okay.
tell you.
All
So
right, all
you
right.
go first. Give me the Christie's.
I love this show.
It's a great show.
I enjoy watching it. I love the relationship.
We
the
will
actors
reiterate
are fun.
again that Christie's have nothing to do with the quality of the show.
Yes.
Merely the tricksiness of the mystery.
Yeah. I just think that there weren't a lot of suspects. And
Oh, yeah,
they
100%.
did not have a lot of it's also only a 45, 50-minute
Yeah.
episode. So there's just not a lot of depth on, motive or various, cross agendas.
Yeah.
Which I think is a big thing about Christie's. So I hate to say this, but I would give it a 3.
That is exactly what I was thinking as well. For all the reasons you've just said. I mean, obviously, of course, the fact that I guessed it right off is not going to be, you know what I mean? It's not, all right, I guessed it. Couldn't have been that tricksy. But for all the reasons you just said, there were literally only 4 suspects in all of this.
Yeah. They kind of didn't have separate motives or anything. They were just sort of out there.
Yeah, it was all grouped together. So it was all about how much fun and how interesting can you make it to get there. And I think they did a good job with it. I mean, we were rewinding and watching and following all the things.
Yeah.
But it was fairly straight ahead. It was okay.
I mean, there wasn't anything to do with the mom. There was nothing.
Yes, there was nothing to do with the mom.
It was only that the mom had made Grace also a trustee.
Right. The mom had turned the recording studio and the grounds into a historic trust and made the father and the daughter, trustees of it.
Trustees. And so the fact that, it was her property. So she was able to say it was my property that Charlie was selling or going to sell. And so she stopped it. And then it was just by dint of the fact that nobody else knew, nobody else would have known that she had stopped the auction that night.
Right.
That made it seem like this is definitely an inside job.
Yes, because everybody else would have assumed that these things would not have been there.
So there were two ways, actually, that it was obvious that this was an inside job. One, because nobody would have known that the auction materials hadn't gone, and so why would they have been stolen or sent?
Right, no one would have gone there to steal them.
Couldn't have been an outside person. And then secondly, who else knew that this recording was on the field recorder?
Right.
Except for the fact that the suspect did.
Yeah.
The perpetrator. Yeah, so 3.
3. All right. I still want the soundtrack to this episode.
Yes.
Right? For a TV show, these were some good songs. These are they captured the tone well. No, they sounded good. I was we were talking about that when Nathan was singing at the beginning of the show. We were like, I didn't hear anything wrong with that. Keep singing. That sounded good to me.
Yeah. Oh, so the composer is Ian McClellan. And so maybe we can credit him with that great song.
I will. Let's just do it. And if someone else did it, let us know. But for now, Ian, good job. You get the flowers.
Yeah, exactly. And now I also want to see if this actor is a musical theater singer.
Oh, yeah, we got to find that
otherwise. Out. Yeah. Well, it does say, at least on IMDb, in terms of his credits, his trivia, that he directed his first feature film at age 22.
Oh, my goodness.
He taught
the
himself.
Composer? Oh, no, the singer.
The actor,
singer. Yeah.
Who sang the songs. He taught himself how to play guitar and the piano. And he also plays the ukulele. And he runs a website called Midnight Gonzo, where he regularly posts short personal essays and articles.
Okay, so he has a blog.
Yeah, yeah. Doesn't say that he's necessarily in a band or that he's done musical theater.
Okay. Well, if you're looking for some place to go, buddy, there you have it.
Yeah. And I feel like he could be a twin of Tom Pidcock. Just because I always like to bring a racing thing in here.
It's not summertime if we're not talking about bike racing.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, it was a fun episode.
It was a good episode.
I'm really happy to watch new shows.
Yes. Happy this came along for the summertime. Gave us something in between the racing episodes. Okay, so that's everything. Thanks for listening, Detective Collective. But before you race off,
Be sure to follow and subscribe to the podcast. Give us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
or just tell a friend about us. You've got friends who watch shows like these. Let them know.
And you can get more Cluedunnit. Join the break room discussion at Patreon. You can join us for $5 and $10 a month levels.
You'll get raw footage, exclusive episodes, access to a seasonal live show that's coming up, and extra votes in our season planning poll so that you can make sure we do the shows that you love. So go ahead and join us at patreon.com/ClueDunnitPodcast.
And stay in touch. You can email us at cluedunnitpodcast@gmail.com or DM us at Instagram and Facebook at Cluedunnit Podcast.
We'll see you next time, but before we go, remember, don't put your electronics into rice.
This closing script is officially approved by the Totally Fake Podcasting Adjudication Board. Don't understand how everybody's watching Twitch.
Yeah, watching other people
somebody
play
else
games.
play a game.
I think it's
so boring.
And another thing that bothers
I
me
know,
about
I'm gonna
today's
pull up my
kids.
socks.